Hold up. You're probably thinking, that is 1 month's difference? So do you know how it happened? And what I'm doing in Alaska? Are you ready for the story time? Let's go. So last year I heard of such a concept as WWOOF. And at first when the girl told me, oh, you know, I woofed in New Zealand last year. And I'm like, what is woof? I know woof woof, dog barking. So at first I thought she was kind of making fun of me. I didn't realize that it was actually a real thing. So WWOOF is Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. WWOOF exists in 130 countries, 12,000 hosts, and extraordinary number of 100,000 woofers. Yeah, the WWOOF program was organized in 1970s, so about 50 years ago now. So you join WWOOF.net. Here it is. I believe it was $40 fee, the sign-up fee. So you sign up and there are a bunch of hosts. I got furloughed from my job and I remembered all of a sudden about WWOOF and decided to join and explore. So there are two major programs, WWOOF and Workaway. They kind of provide the same thing. I've heard that on Workaway, if you're interested, there are more opportunities, like not just on farms, but also you can become au pair, work with kids, or you can like work in a yoga studio or in some sort of festival. So Workaway has a little bit more wider range of opportunities than WWOOF.com, WWOOF.net. But WWOOF.net is mostly for helping farmers if you're interested in organic farming. So how does it work? First, you have to settle on a country. Second, you have to settle on a city. So for me, it was easy. A country in the United States, well, it's COVID, baby. And when it came to the city, well, state first, I decided Alaska. And it didn't matter to me where in Alaska I would go because I always wanted to come here. I'm from Russia, so technically I'm coming back home. No, I'm kidding. I'm more Persian than Alaskan, that's for sure. I'm a southern girl. So yeah, Alaska, no matter where, as long as it's somewhere in the States. So then you have to decide what type of farm you want to work on. So animals were out of the question. Did not want to have anything to do with an animal farm. Then did not want to do hardcore farming. So okay, I'm like, flower farm. And guess what? Peonies. Peony farm in Alaska. That's random. So if you're not sure what peonies are, here it is. So that's an emerging market here in Alaska, and I had no idea that that's what Alaska was about. When you hear flowers, you don't really think about Alaska. Maybe wildflowers, but not peonies or flower farms. So I was pleasantly surprised that it was a thing in Alaska. Only after 2 weeks after I got furloughed, I decided to explore this opportunity of woofing somewhere. And what I did, I went on WWOOF.net, I sent a few messages to different peony growers, and then Beth, the owner of the Scenic Place Peonies, responded and said, come and help, we need more help. And we're, you know, the season is almost over, but the more help, the merrier. And everything was decided within a week. I think I booked my flights and I went on this adventure.
Right, we have a niche market for the peonies, so nowhere else in the world at this point can provide fresh cut peonies in July and August. The industry started, oh goodness, probably like 16 years ago. Don't quote me on the dates, but Dr. Pat Holloway, professor up at Fairbanks, the Georgetown Botanical Gardens, had a plot of peonies in her botanical gardens. And just by chance, one of the visitors walking through and he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you have peonies growing in July. Ours bloomed long time ago. And it just kind of put a light bulb in her head. And she went ahead and started thinking about it and realized what an economic driver it could be for the state of Alaska, something new in our agricultural industry. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that little snippet of time, you know, who knows how long it would have taken us to get to this. But realistically, everybody's kind of jumping on the bandwagon. It's been good.
Well, hello there and welcome to my Alaskan home. Come on in. Let me give you the grand tour. And yeah, of course, you probably noticed all of these flowers because I work on a flower farm. These are the perks of working on the flower farm and rescuing the flowers when the season is over. So here's the so-called pack house. We call it pack house because this is our headquarters for our bouquet making and flower storing. And all of the work is done downstairs and we live upstairs. And usually it's about 2 to 3 people that live here. And I'm here alone because all the woofers have left. And I'm here to enjoy the pack house all to myself. And here's my bedroom. So quite comfy and spacious, and has this beautiful storage space. And of course, look at these flowers. Grown and harvested on this farm. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss all the flowers. Coffee is ready. I wish you can smell it. It smells. I have a visitor. Just, oh my God, that dude. So it's breakfast time and I'm going to make my favorite breakfast food, semolina. It's kind of like an oatmeal for me and I garnish it with local raspberries collected on the farm by me. Usually I just put a little bit of oat milk, a few spoons of semolina. So while I'm making this wonderful oatmeal for myself, let's talk food, right? Because I've already told you what WOOF is all about. It's about getting accommodation and food, room and board for free. Well, not for free, in exchange for your work hours. You work from 20 to 40 hours on this farm. The requirement is to work 30 hours, so it's 6 hours a day for 5 days. And in exchange for that, you get this wonderful accommodation and you already saw a part of it. So in exchange, you get that and you get food. And what types of food is that? All dry foods and all dried essentials like rice, beans, sugar, salt, flour, any types of spices. So all the essentials that you can make your own meal from it. On top of that, anything that grows on the farm, which includes potatoes, carrots, beets, fresh raspberries, there were a ton of them, apples, peaches. So it depends on the day and they would just leave it in our own pantry and we can go through and choose what we want. And I recently turned vegan and they were very accommodating with my diet, providing tofu options for all the wonderful dinners that Beth threw us. As I arrived, we had a wonderful sushi dinner and it was not only a sushi dinner, it was also a class where you can learn how to make sushi. The tofu option was provided for me, which I really appreciated. Yeah, it was just absolutely delicious.
You want to come sit and talk? We're doing an interview. We've only got like 5 minutes, honey. 5 minutes more and then we got to go. But if you want to come sit and join us. Babosa, come sit with us, Babosa.
Thank you.
I filmed a little action of him today.
know, a little
I put it on
action,
my the app that you showed me, the 1 second app, or 1 second every day. I did film a little bit just so I can put that in, because that was our first use of the wood splitter. New toys for the farm. The WOOF program. Honestly, I was contacted by a couple of individuals. Courtney and Ben were kayaking guides down in the Juneau area, and they contacted us. They had seen our farm. I guess maybe I had my website up, I'm not sure. But basically they contacted us and said, hey, you know, we want to know if we could woof for you. And I'm like, well, what's woof? What's, you know? And so, I mean, the people came to us, and then at that point, then we, you know, figured out what it was about, and, you know, I read up on it, and it's been a really great experience for our farm. I mean, just having woofers here, like I said, it brings such a different dynamic of personalities from all over the world. So it's not just the United States. We've had people from Australia, Germany, Russia, France, China,
And
Japan.
so we're actually learning too. And a lot of these people come with different skill sets. In fact, that Ben guy you were talking about was a wood guy, and he loved to chop wood. So he was out there with the maul, and he would do that whole pile just for fun. So, but anyway,
It's been,
it's been a very learning experience. Different cultures, different skill sets.
every year, I'm always like, oh my gosh, this crew was so great this year. And I seriously believe every year it has been. And so there's been so many different little moments.
Always
Campfires
fun,
are great.
especially when there's musical people around.
Right. We've had some really wonderfully musically talented people, and sitting around the bonfire in the evening, chilling after a long day of work, and listening to music, and just really getting to connect with people. That's one of the parts that I really enjoy.
So when Beth responded to me and invited me to come to this farm in Homer, Alaska, I've heard of this town for the first time in my life, and I said, okay, Homer it is. The cosmic hamlet by the sea. But most importantly, Homer is the art capital of Alaska. Unfortunately, it's COVID times and I missed a lot of art things in Homer and art gatherings, but the owners of the Scenic Place Peonies, Beth and Kurt, invited me to a very special production of Shakespeare by Pier 1 Theater, the art theater here, and it was haunted Shakespeare. It was all in the forest, so you kind of walk through the forest, and a very dear friend of mine who also works on the Scenic Place Peony Farm, Bridget, was an artist featured in this play. She's an aerialist, and she had an amazing performance using aerial silks.
That shows his hoar leaves in glassy stream.
Therefore the moon, governess of flood,
of die and stay.
And bowsprit. And right now I'm standing on the Homer Spit, and the Homer Spit is the geographical landmark here in Alaska. It's the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula, and it's 4.5 mile long stretch of land, and it's amazing. I'm ready for my breakfast. The oatmeal is done. This is just wonderful. I love it. It's my favorite. We take this oatmeal and put some raspberries. Yeah, so several spoonfuls of some wonderful local raspberries. And you would be surprised, but I still eat outside. Yeah, I definitely don't mind breakfast with a view. Even if it's a little bit chilly, I don't care. I don't know when the next time will I have this type of view. No, I cannot play. Oh, I cannot play this. I did study piano, but that's where it stopped with the piano, and I can't even play piano anymore. But other woofers were very good at it, just not me. And let's talk about the animals that I saw here. So, moose, of course. You know, there were several times where I was just minding my business and making coffee, and moose would just walk by, and I would have to do double check because I couldn't believe my eyes. Right on the property, the mama moose and her baby came to visit us, and two lovers. Because it was a mating season, so we had two lovers on our property, just kind of like having a date. So that was cute. Sea lion. Beth was so gracious to invite us across the bay, and when we were kayaking on the bay, the sea lion jumped out right by the boat, and I said goodbye to my life, and I froze to death. And thank God another woofer, Kiki, saved us and kayaked us out. But it was definitely a scary moment. I thought that was the end of my life in Alaska. Just imagining how the sea lion would attack you and throw you in the air. That was not a pleasant situation we found ourselves in. So moose, sea lion, a lot of beautiful birds, otters, a lot of otters. Oh my God, so many otters I've never seen in my life. I did not see any bears. Eagles, bald eagles, they're everywhere here. So you probably wonder, okay, you showed us your bedroom, you showed us your kitchen, you showed us your living space where you play guitar that you don't know how to play, but where is your bathroom and your shower? Well, here is a tricky thing with the pack house. If you love this space and if you love this view, you have to sacrifice and go use the bathroom and the shower outside, which to me is the plus. I wanted for the true Alaskan experience of that simple living. Not having a bathroom and shower outside is difficult maybe for some people, but for me, it's part of the charm. So I think it's a good time to show you the outhouse. Come with me and experience the real Alaska living. Let's go. Okay, that's the start of the journey. First, we have to combat these steps. All right, run. And then just there. So for me, this is the real deal. And just check out this view. So every day you go to the bathroom and that's what you see.
I was born in Massachusetts, but I was raised in Alaska. My father was in the Coast Guard. When I was an infant, we moved up here in '64. I wasn't even a year old. And he worked over in the Coast Guard over in Kodiak before there was Coast Guard here in Homer. And so I was raised here up until mid-'70s, first part of the '70s. And my dad decided that it was time for us to see an apple come off of a tree instead of out of a grocery bin. And to meet our family. All of my family is back at the East Coast. So we were there for 5 years, and during that time frame, my dad was commuting back and forth because he worked up on the Alaska pipeline, the platforms up there. And so he went ahead and was commuting back and forth. And by '81, he was sick of it and moved us all back to Alaska. My senior year, I was devastated. And but I've been here since.
I was just born right down the street from her in Massachusetts.
I know. Seriously, what a quinky dink, huh?
But raised in Michigan and graduated from Central Michigan in '82 and came up here looking for adventure with a backpack, camping on the spit all summer long. And now I couldn't fit a fraction of what I own into a backpack. But I've got adventure, jobs, life skills, a wife,
Family, yeah.
family, farm, got a tractor,
And a wood splitter.
and a wood splitter.
Do you think you'll ever leave Alaska?
We leave Alaska almost every year. We travel a lot. We owned a travel agency before the farm. And so we are very much have the travel bug. So we usually leave 5 or 6 weeks. And our retirement plan is to actually live here in Alaska, spring, summer, maybe a little bit, maybe right about now, and then book it out of here and become snowbirds. And either you
Nomads,
travel around, no set place to live except for probably here in Alaska, but we definitely want to get out and see the rest of the world. We've traveled all over the world.
And did I mention that we have access to a vehicle? This amazing vehicle? Yes. So if you're ready to go with me on a town and see Homer a little bit, let's go. And I like finding a good radio station. Oops. Like oldies is my jam. Just driving around, playing some good oldies. Check this out. So I went through all the wonderful things, right? You get a place to stay, a really wonderful place to stay. You get food, you get amazing dinners. So you might be thinking, so what is the trick? It sounds so wonderful. Yes, well, you have to work. And Beth, when we had a call before I came, she was not hiding that, yeah, it's going to be hard work, and it was. So you'll have to, well, sometimes you have to work with the flowers, basically harvest the flowers that grow on the farm. We were making a lot of bouquets for sale, which was my favorite task. A lot of weeding and cutting down fields, peonies, to prep for the winter. So those were the major tasks.
Oh, come with well, first of all, because of our weather, I'd say bring layers of clothing. But come with a sense of adventure and come and dive into our community. Unfortunately, this year with COVID, it was really hard for our crew. But normally, we have so many fun things that are going on in our community, be it the arts, be it music, festivals, just being able to experience the beach, the salty dog, so come with adventure and come with the mindset that you're gonna meet some really cool people, and it's not gonna be a solitary adventure. It's gonna be a collaboration of all sorts of people. We take crew across the bay to go camping all the time, and there's usually 3 to 4, I think 6 was the maximum that we can put on the boat at a time to go camping. So adventure, bring adventure with you.
This farm is a real team effort. I mean, we got the leaders, the leader, and
Actually,
but it is a team effort, and we all learn to work together, and that's the only way that it works,
teamwork, yep, absolutely. And everybody's is super important. That's the other thing, is that it's not just one. It's like I was saying a little bit ago, teamwork, dreamwork. It's definitely everybody together that makes this farm successful like it is.
Tell me what you're going to do with all the dried flowers behind.
Oh, this, all the dried flowers, this is a new for us with the extension of the Red Cabin Farm. I want to make a wreath class. I want to be able to use the dried flowers and teach a wreathing class. So yeah, that's the plan.
You'll never stop with projects.
Oh no,
God.
Gosh, no. When you quit
She's gonna
dreaming,
kill me.
when you quit dreaming, that's when it ends in my mind. I have to always have something to look forward to. This year, I was super excited to join the Growing Kindness Project, which was started by a farm down in the lower 48, the United States, and they shipped up some dahlia bulbs for me. So I have been giving out bouquets all over. Everybody needs to see a little bit of a spark of hope and joy, and that's what I feel like I get from flowers. And so we donated lots of flowers to the hospital, through the Senior Citizen Center. We've been handing them out to just random individuals. It's a matter of showing kindness right now in this time and space, which is ever more needed. I mean, it's always needed, but I think this year, for obvious reasons, it's super important that people are able to connect and feel a little bit of hope and love. My neighbor, Shirley, works at, or volunteers, I shouldn't say she works, she volunteers at the Homer Food Pantry. And so she always comes and grabs up our excess produce and brings it to the food pantry and shares it on Mondays. So yeah, Kurt and I have been members of the International Lions Club since the early 90s. And so we are very much service oriented. So, hold on, this Bridget, hold on a second. Hey, Bridget.
Hey, I just got all packed up. I was gonna.
We are at the bottom of East Hill. Where would you like us to meet you?
Okay, Save-You-More?
Save-You-More it is. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Awesome.
Okay, all right, bye, hon. Your ride awaits you, my dear. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you can be like in movies. Beth is so good with camera.
Just so you know, Bridget, all day long she's been running like that. Back and forth, back and forth. Wes, yeah, just the group. She's the best.
Thank you so much. Unbelievable experience.
Yes. Come
Thank
through
you.
again. Happy travels, safe travels through life. Yeah.
I will.
Come back. Exactly.
So how did you decide to move to Alaska?
Well, it's the last frontier. Really, the reason is a woman. I was in love with a woman. I'm like quite romantic. And she was getting a job as a massage therapist in a remote wilderness lodge in the middle of Alaska. And I just thought, oh, how romantic would it be to kind of follow her? I did it. And I drove I was living in Asheville, North Carolina, and I drove from there to Homer. Took a long time to get there on purpose. I've never officially woofed, but I've unofficially woofed many times. I've been on different farms that offer woofing and done different work trade situations that are really similar to woofing. But yeah, I just met Beth and Kurt through a friend. This year with COVID, I just thought, it seems like a good year to just farm and grow food and grow flowers and not worry about money too much and just live peacefully. So I feel like I just saw a bear up there.
What? Where?
It was on this road. It's more obvious that animals were here first, and so it feels easier to respect. And I'm a gymnast and an aerialist, and there wasn't any aerial arts happening when I got here. And so I thought, oh, this would be like a really cool thing to bring to the community. Started teaching classes through the Homer Council on the Arts. I got involved with our local production of the Nutcracker, bringing Ariel Silk's axe into the classic ballet. I started becoming really interested in dance, which I'm not classically trained in dance, and I wasn't a dancer when I was a kid, I was just a gymnast, and I started dancing with this adult group here, co-op group, and yeah, it's kind of actually been picking up just my creative outlets in the past few months, which has been a big relief and nice outlet during COVID times.
Thank you for everything.